That's
a
very good question. I like that. You've answered the question.
That is a great question. I like how you answered the question. He doesn't scream. He doesn't ask for it. Spielberg only looks and then makes a choice. It doesn't change once he makes up his mind. It's hard for me to believe that a director has to know what he wants. It's not about how to get what you want, but about what you want. Over the past 50 years, Spielberg has built worlds, changed history, and directed more iconic movies than any other living director. There is something else behind all of that, though. Being able to find the right person, the one person who fits, the only voice he believes, the only show that changes is everything. He can't work with noise. He does work with sound. People of all ages watch his movies, but at their core is a performance that keeps the chaos in check. Spielberg does more than just hire good actors. He also hires gravity. I'm good at that. Not the job. Not the job. What a show. And when someone gives it to him, the work goes away when the trust is full. What's left is almost mythical. I'm not going to go there. That's not good enough for me. I really enjoy making movies that are very different from the ones I've already made. He's worked with a lot of people, but only a few stayed in the picture and never left his sight. The people who gave him everything and got it back something even less common. Here are the 6 players that Spielberg thinks are the best, and why no one else has ever been able to replace them. The first one is Tom Hanks. A few directors, Spielberg often turned to a well-known star to help him find players. There is a twin of Spielberg. He wasn't just cast as Tom Hanks. He became an important part of Spielberg's movies. They have been together in a lot of movies together, like Saving Private Ryan, Catch Me If You Can, The Terminal, Bridge of Spies, and The Post. It's not based on friendship either. It relies on trust. When Steven calls, I don't ask what it is. I just say yes, Hanks said at one point. That's not praise in the entertainment business. It's the law. For more than 25 years, Spielberg has given Hanks his most emotional material, like war, history, moral uncertainty, and weak people. Hanks always delivers without any fuss or ego. Spielberg is said to have given very little advice on the set of Saving Private Ryan, just a nod or a whisper. He was sure Hanks would figure out the truth soon. Music Schauberg said it was like seeing a journalistic lion walk into the office when Hanks played Ben Bradley in The Post. Still, there's no big deal between them. There were no public statements. There was only quiet confidence. It's not flashy, but their relationship is strong. Hanks does not steal scenes. Instead, he holds them down. He gives Spielberg the emotional fuel he needs. Stories need. Other people could cause fire or chaos. Hanks adds weight. Spielberg keeps coming back for a reason. He is very aware of what he is protecting and what he is getting. Hanks never tried to make Spielberg like him. He always showed up ready to go, with his ego hidden. That's the trick. Control, consistency, and understanding. Hanks gives Spielberg the things that hold the frame together that can't be seen. And Spielberg shows him how to do it. This is no longer working together. It's a blend of creativity. It began the first time they met and didn't stop. One chameleon whose shows amazed him, Daniel D. Lewis, comes in at number 2. When Spielberg chose Daniel D. Lewis to play Abraham Lincoln, he knew it wasn't just a choice. It was a prayer. D. Lewis didn't try out. It's not the same thing as practicing. Then he changed. He got to the set too late, because Lincoln was already there facing Spielberg. He was right when he said that I could write shorter lectures, but I find it hard to stop once I start. After the fact, Spielberg said, he gave me the gift of time travel. I forgot sometimes that we were making a movie. The performance was careful, quiet, and exact. There were no inflammatory statements or showy acting. There was only tension, empathy, and breathing. It was a part that would last and last. What Spielberg did was the same. He didn't get close while filming. There are no first names or small talk. Not as an act, but because that's what the job called for. He called D. Lewis Mr. President on and off the set. D. Lewis was known for being picky, and he had turned down Spielberg before. In fact, Spielberg had to try for years to get him to agree. But when he did, something unique happened. Lincoln became one of Spielberg's most well-known and admired movies. D. Lewis got the award, but Spielberg didn't try to show off. He just said, I didn't direct him, in interviews. I had just seen him. It makes you feel both revered and scared. Spielberg doesn't usually give up control, but he took a step back as D. Lewis spoke. Some performances need room because they don't need to be told what to do. After Lincoln, Lewis never got back in touch with Spielberg. Not because they don't get along, but because lightning never strikes twice in the same storm. Spielberg has worked with many great players, but only one of them made time bend. The work together wasn't long, but it was deep, and it changed Spielberg's ideas about characters, pace, and silence. One part, one movie, and one first term. That was all Daniel D. Lewis needed to get into Spielberg's top group for good. Third place goes to Harrison Ford. One of them was the action star he always called a dependable actor, and the other is Indiana Jones. Spielberg saw Harrison Ford as more than just a figure, though. He was like a guide for movies. He knew when to take the lead and when to let the director do his thing. Get ready to meet Carly in hell. A hat, a whip, and a smile were the first things they used together. After that, though, there were decades of quiet, deliberate loyalty. He once said, "Harrison brings confidence into a room, and when the camera rolls, that confidence becomes myth." Ford already knew who Han Solo was. Spielberg saw something else, though. Something rougher but solid, bigger than life but still human. Ford set the standard for the modern action hero in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He was hurt. He moaned. He came back rise up. The shoots were very bad. It was going very fast, but Ford never slowed down. Spielberg talked about a time on the set of Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade when Ford insisted on doing a trick himself. "Don't double up, just trust. If I get hurt, you'll know it was worth it," he told me. That is what Harrison is. Ford is different because it doesn't just last a long time. It's his silence. He doesn't try to get parts. That's not what he does. He comes in, gets the job done, and then goes. Spielberg has said that Ford gives him sincerity whenever he asks for it. Whether it's silly, funny, or when it comes to pure strength, the man never fails to deliver. In 4 Indiana Jones movies, they work together, and Spielberg has said that if he ever makes another action movie, he'd only cast one guy as the lead. Presence is more important than being able to do many things. Harrison Ford doesn't try to take the picture. He's the frame. Spielberg will always remember how reliable that kind of dependability is. Leonardo was number 4, a younger star named Leonardo DiCaprio who gained Spielberg's full respect. Spielberg did not see a star in Leonardo DiCaprio when he met him. He saw a knife that was sharp, sturdy, and used for surgery. Catch Me If You Can was their first project together. Not long ago, DiCaprio got off the Titanic. The whole world thought he was a cute, big star. There was something else Spielberg saw. Control, time, and staying still when things get tough. I didn't think the Secret Service would be involved. Don't stress over it. Spielberg has said in comments, he's got a clock inside him. He never skips a beat. He doesn't guess. He's about to land. It wasn't the charm that made that part work. It was the desperation that was there. What DiCaprio played as Frank Abagnale wasn't just a con artist. His suit looked great, but he was a broken kid. Spielberg pushed DiCaprio to do that, and he did. The performance changed him. His role as the star has changed, and he is now a real actor. And Spielberg was the one who made that change seem natural. Their relationship was calm and professional. There was no drama or second-guessing at the start. They just worked together naturally. After the fact, Spielberg was amazed by Leo's work. He said that Leo read scenes like maps, asked questions that no one else thought to ask, and never let the weight of the production bother him, even though he was the youngest person on set. A Howard Hughes movie and a courtroom drama were said to be in the works, but the time never worked out. But DiCaprio was still one of the few young stars Spielberg always said good things about. He said that Leo's acting in The Revenant was terrible. He told him he hoped to work with him again soon. Leo is one of the few actors who can look like chaos and speak in quiet. He still talks about him like there's unfinished business because of this. One great movie with endless possibilities. The effect is bigger than the names, even though they only have one title together. Because when Leonardo DiCaprio met Spielberg, he showed that even giants can be wrong. 5. Meryl Streep is an actress whose range amazed him. Steven Spielberg didn't direct Meal Street for almost 40 years. When he did, it wasn't just a choice of cast, it was an homage. In 2017, she got the job after the project had already moved quickly to fit a political moment. In the part of Katharine Graham, Stray, who had already won 3 Oscars, seemed to have been practicing for it her whole life. This